I'm Ginny Altman. I'm owner of the Exit Eagle, formerly known as Altman Business Solutions, and I'm here to share with you a story about one of the businesses that I helped to sell. This is my favorite story. It's about a company that was started by a couple. They had gone to high school together and got married after high school, totally in love. They had 2 children. He was working in a warehouse, and she was staying at home as a stay-at-home mom. But he hated working in the warehouse. They kept selling the business, the rules would change, and of course the people in the jobs like warehouse are the ones who get tossed around without anybody paying much attention to them. He hated it. So they decided to start a business so he could work for himself and not get tossed around anymore. And so they did all this research. What business should we start? Well, they didn't want to do a franchise because that was another form of control. Not everybody feels that way, but they felt that way. So they looked into what are the most profitable businesses that have the lowest barrier to entry, because neither one of them had a lot of education, so they felt like it should be a low barrier to entry. And they found out that embroidery businesses make a lot of money, and they have a low barrier to entry, and they could do it in their basement, and they were happy. And they found some good used German equipment. They bought it, they put it up in the basement, and the first thing they printed was a t-shirt for him to wear when he was going out and selling their services. He went to work wearing the warehouse t-shirt. He changed in the locker room into their t-shirt when he was done at work, and on the way home, he made 3 stops every night, cold called 3 businesses every night to sell the embroidery services. And within a year, they had enough business that he could quit his job, and so he did. And then they worked out of their home. And their goal was to save $1 million so they could retire young and enjoy life. Their children, the nature, the earth, time with God. That's what they wanted. 10 years later, they got in touch with me and said, we would like to sell our business. This was a good business. $500,000 in revenue, really, really healthy profit margin. It was beautiful, beautiful opportunity to sell a good business at a good price. Except for a couple of things. One, the business was in their home, and their clients loved coming to their home because it was, out in the country, and so they'd get to leave work and come for this little drive, and then they'd get there and they'd feel welcomed, and it was just a wonderful experience buying from them. Everything was always done on time, the way it was supposed to be done. They rarely had a return. They rarely had a late delivery. Their clients loved them, and they loved coming to their place out in the country. So that was a problem. How were we going to transition the clients to a new location and a new owner at the same time? Not a good idea. The other problem was when we did an analysis of their data, they had like a huge hunk of their business from basically one customer that bought every year. All the other ones, like the sports teams, they were a very small percentage of revenue. The commercial businesses, it was kind of a steady, but it was a mix. And almost always what happened is one business would pop up and have a huge order because they had changed their logo. And so they had to get all new coats for the guys out on the road, the people in the sales, all the t-shirts. And so they'd have a huge order, but then they wouldn't order again like that for, another decade. So they just had to count on a company popping up with a big order. The only really good, steady, large customer they had, only one. In order to make the business safe, we had to get at least 2 or 3 more of those types of clients in the same industry, that type of client, to make it a really good sale. And this customer was happy to do what needed to be done. So we got the business moved. They stayed for a year. They transitioned the customers to the new location. Got, 3 more accounts, like the one big one. So now they had 4 large recurring revenues. So that actually increased their profit and their adjusted cash flow. And therefore their sale price went up. And it was a wonderful sale. Got it sold for more than they expected. They invested only a year, and now at the age of 50, they're out enjoying life. That's my favorite story. I'm Ginny, the Exit Eagle. If you have a business you'd like to sell, please give us a call. 412-514-1050.